Hello, this is your tutor, Mr. A+. I'm welcoming you to this wonderful class, the class of Civic Education. So today I've come with the questions, examination questions that are coming from 2024 past paper. And that is section B type of questions. So can you kindly pay attention so that you can understand and acquire the skill on how you can answer examination question in section B. Okay, so the first question is saying, what concept is used to refer to a person with severe and potentially fatal conditions caused by physical dependence on alcohol? Okay, so the first thing, as usual, you need to understand the question very well. Then upon understanding the question, you'll be able to give the correct answer. Okay, so when you look at this question, they are actually talking about the fatal condition that are being caused by a physical dependence on alcohol. So what do we call that concept? So that concept is called alcoholism. Okay, alcoholism, that is the answer for this question. So we can just write there alcoholism. Okay, so the answer is alcoholism. Okay, so meaning you've answered that one. Then we go to question B, and this question was question number 2A, but here I indicated 1A. Then we go to B. B, the question reads, mention the name of the drug found in cannabis. Okay, so the name of drugs found in cannabis. So remember, in civic education, there is a special topic called drug and abuse. So this is where the questions are coming from. So mention the name of the drug found in cannabis. So what's the name of the drug that is found in cannabis? And this is actually the drug that affects the brain of a person or the mind. So this type of drug is called tetrahydrocannabinol. Tetrahydrocannabinol, which is abbreviated as THC. Okay, so we can write it here so that you are able to relate. So we are saying tetra, that is tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay, so which is abbreviated as THC. Okay, so this is the drug that is found in the cannabis, and this drug is very harmful to health. Okay, mental health to be specific. Then we go to question C. Which form of cannabis has the highest content of the drug mentioned in B? So now, the form of cannabis that has the highest content of this drug, which we have mentioned in B, and the drug which they are talking about here is the tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay, tetrahydrocannabinol is the type of drug which they are talking about. Now, which form of cannabis has the highest content of this same drug? So this particular form is called hashish oil. Hashish oil. Okay, that is the form. Hashish oil. So hashish oil is found in cannabis, and it contains so much of tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay, So this is the answer when you are given that question. Then we go to question D. State the process used to refer to the production of heroin. Okay, heroin is also a harm substance that is actually affect mental health. So now they want us to tell us now they want us to tell them the process, okay, of producing the same heroin. Okay, so this process is called acetylation. Acetylation, which is spelled like this. Acetylation. Okay, so acetylation or acetylation. So whichever spelling you can give there is correct. Okay, so that is the process of producing this. That's what it is called, acetylation. Okay, then how does the lysergic acid diethylamide, which is abbreviated by LSD, affect the user? Okay, those who use. So all these that we are talking about harm substance that are found in cannabis. So this one is mostly called acid. Okay, so LSD affect the user. How does it affect the user? Lysergic acid diethylamide. Okay, so this one also affect the user. Now, how does it affect the user? It actually disrupts the interaction of nerve cells and the neurotransmitter, okay, causes the user to hallucinate, okay. So they cause the user to hallucinate. They affect or rather disrupt the interaction of nerve and the neurotransmitter. So the nerves and neurotransmitters are being disturbed because of this. And when the uh, transmitters and nerves are disrupted, what will happen is that that particular person will start doing what? The user, the one who is using it, will start hallucinating. So what is to hallucinate? To hallucinate is to actually uh, start experiencing things that are not real, that are not there. The good example that I can give is a situation where maybe you are moving alone on the road in the night, more especially. Then, because of the same acid that has affected your brain, you are going to see maybe a person standing in front of you, maybe where you are going, when there is no one there. That is hallucinate. Okay, so you are trying to experience a real object that does not exist. Okay, okay, that is hallucinate. So because of this same drug, it will cause a person now to do what? Because of that same acid, it will cause the person to hallucinate again, to start interpreting messages wrongly. Okay, it's also one of them. Okay, then those are some of the answers you can produce on this question. So one of them, they disrupt they actually disrupt the interaction of nerve cells and neurotransmitter. They will be disrupted. And the other thing is they cause the user to hallucinate and and also interpret the messages wrongly. Okay, the space here wrongly. But don't worry, the simple notes will be provided for you so that you can be able to understand very well. Okay. Then we go to question number F. What is given to a disease caused by alcohol where the liver becomes fatty and enlarged, causing inflammations? So that type of disease is called cirrhosis. Okay, too much of alcohol, it will actually cause cirrhosis, a disease called cirrhosis to the liver. Okay, so this is the spelling of cirrhosis. Then question G, name the government institution charged with the responsibility. Okay, charged with the responsibility curbing substance abuse. So what do we call that government institution? What do we call that government institution? That one is called Drug Enforcement Commission. Drug Enforcement Commission, which is abbreviated as DEC. So they are the ones who are there. So no wonder why all these substances, all these drugs, they are not allowed in our country. That's why there is this commission that actually make sure that this the using of this drug is kept. Okay, so DEC. Then question 2, we are going to explain the following concept used in media governance. So we are now looking at governance. That is a topic. That's where these questions came from. So governance, we have the concepts like gender bias. What is gender bias? We are trying to explain gender balance, language bias, private media, public media. So to start with, gender balance or gender bias, I mean, is the tendency to give preferential, okay, to give preferential treatment over another, preferential treatment over another. So gender bias, this is a situation where, according to the way I've put the statement, in simpler term, we would say this is where the gender, as you might know, when we talk about gender, there is female and male. Now, if you are there now, maybe to prefer or to favor one gender, okay, over the other, it means you are now going to call it a gender bias, because, for example, maybe you are favoring the females or you are favoring males. That is gender bias. Okay, that's what it means. So in answering this question, you just say this is the tendency, is the tendency, is the tendency to give preferential, okay, preferential treatment over another. Okay, you prefer, the others you are treating them well, the other gender you are treating it well, the other gender is not treating well. That is being biased. That's the word itself, bias. So the other one, it is a form of unconscious bias which occurs when someone unconsciously attributes certain attribute and stereotypes or stereotypes to a what, to a group of what, people. Okay, so we can also give that one, is important, where I will say it is a form of it. Okay, maybe I can just put full stop here or comma. It is a form of, it is a form of unconscious bias, unconscious bias which occurs, which can say which occur, spelling for occurs, which occurs when someone unconsciously unconsciously When someone unconscious, no, the spelling for conscious, consciously, unconsciously attributes certain certain attribute certain attribute that and stereotypes, so to give group of people, to give group of to give group of people. Okay, to give group of people. So we are saying it's a tendency to give preferential treatment over another. It is a form of unconscious bias which occurs when someone unconsciously attributes certain attribute and stereotypes stereotypes or to group of people. So here, what it means, there are keywords here like stereotypes. So they are saying gender bias is also a form of unconscious bias. Maybe unconscious bias, it means you don't know that you are being biased. That is unconscious bias, which occurs when someone unconsciously attributes certain attributes and stereotypes of or types to group of people. So here's a situation where the word itself, this word stereotypes, simply means you are referring maybe a group of people, or you are labeling a group of people to be bad. A good example that I can give is maybe all members are bad people. Okay, so that is being sterilized. That is not fact. You are trying to generalize, which is very dangerous. That is being biased. It's better you just target that person who has made a certain mistake, not whereby just because that person is coming from northern province, that person is coming from western province, that person is coming from northwestern province, that person is coming from Luapra province. Now you say all the Luapra people, they are bad people. Look at this person, what he has done or what she has done. So meaning you are being stereotypes, okay, to group of people. That is not fact. You are just trying to generalize. So that's what it means. And that is being biased. Okay. You are labeling, you are being biased to that group of people, to that tribe, to that province. Okay. So as one Zambia, one nation, we are not supposed to be doing that. Okay. So that's what gender bias is all about as a concept. Then we go to language bias. So language bias, the media usually disseminate information in English, thereby denying those who do not know English access to information. Okay. So language bias also is there. You can explain it in that way, where you say, more especially the media, mostly when even news, when they are giving out news, you'd find that the language which they use there is English. Now, what's the meaning of that? It means they are denying uh, people who don't know English to do what? To what? To access to the information. Okay, because you'd find that there are few programs that they use um, local language, okay, language which people can understand. Mostly they use English, denying people. So that is being biased. They are being biased to those people who are unable to understand English. Okay, so that's what it means. So this one can also be written just like I've put it, where you say the media usually disseminate disseminate information disseminate information disseminate information disseminate information using what? Using English. Using English, thereby denying, thereby denying those who do not know English access to information. Okay, very few programs are presented in local languages. Then the other one is private media. This is a type of media owned by media owned by individual individual private companies and what and institutions. Okay, and institutions. Then public media, the type of media usually owned and controlled by the state. Public, the type of, I will say, let me say the type of media usually owned and controlled by what? By the state. Okay, so this is how you must handle these particular questions in that is paper. I mean, the section what? Section B, which is more like a one-word answer. So the question 2, each question carries 2 marks. The first one, each question carries 1 mark. Okay, but I was able to explain more so that you can have more understanding about this question that I brought forth to you. Okay, thank you so very much for paying attention. See you in the next lesson.